The idea of summertime came from a spoken word showcase that I went to see about 2 years ago by this nonprofit organization called Get Lit. Um, and it was like 25 to 30 of their young poets sharing a little bit about their story, a little bit about their background, and then performing a 2 to 3 minute piece. And I remember just walking out of that event feeling so invigorated and so inspired by hearing all these very diverse young voices so eloquently, so poetically, and so beautifully express the things that meant the most to them. And I realized that the one thing they had in common is that a lot of them spoke about the relationship to the city, whether it's through their neighborhoods, whether it's through their families, through their personal experiences. That was sort of like the one common thread. So I proposed to them the idea of trying to turn that experience that I had of the showcase into a narrative film, and that we would work on it together. Each poet would write and perform their individual pieces, and then together we would figure out how to connect them all and how to look at it as a whole story. So that's sort of like how it came to be. Why I felt like I had to make the movie, I think it's simply because the experience that I had in watching these poets was so transformative that I wanted to share that experience with other people. And because film is the medium that I've been using to tell stories, I figured that it would be a really good way to collaborate. They would bring in their poetry, they would bring in their performance, and I would sort of like provide the tools to amplify those voices through film. And that's essentially why Summertime was born. What I learned in the process, I think it's hard to pinpoint one specific thing, because I think everything about the process was unusual and unique, and taught me a lot about filmmaking, but also just more bigger, profound lessons. But I think the most important thing I learned was this. It taught me or encouraged me to embrace the unexpected, and it encouraged me to embrace the imperfections, and to allow the process dictate what it is that we were doing. And I say this because we did this project with 25 young actors who had never acted on screen professionally, had never written a screenplay, and had never collaborated on a project of this scope. We also did it with very little time. We did it over a summer. It was a summer workshop. We started the beginning of the summer. We shot we finished shooting at the end of August, and we didn't have a lot of time. And by definition, this project was going to be alive. We would be rehearsing and doing pre-production while we were still workshopping the script. We would start shooting the movie without having a final script, and then once we were shooting, we would still go back and change stuff. We did pickups and changed the entire storyline last minute, just because we wanted the poets to feel like they had the liberty to say whatever they wanted to say, and us just being a tool for them communicating that. So it was really difficult for me as a film person who is used to having a script and is used to having a production plan, is used to having a schedule, and a clear vision of what you want the movie you're working on to be, to say, I am collaborating with this group of artists, and their opinion is as important as mine, and I'm going to be most helpful by supporting their vision rather than by me dictating my own. And it's a scary place to be, and it was a really big exercise, but I'm glad we did it, because I think we captured an honesty that we wouldn't have been able to capture had we done this the traditional way. And it really does feel like we're peeking into the lives of these individuals, and that to me was what was most special about this group of people, and I think we did that. So by those measures, I consider the project to be extremely successful, and I feel like everyone who took part in it feels similarly, which is amazing. So what I would love for people to get out of summertime is I would love them to experience something similar to what I did when I first saw that poetry workshop. I walked out of there with an extreme sense of optimism, a true appreciation for the honest work that these poets were doing, and so many questions in my head and so much clarity on how such a diverse group of people talk about similar themes, but from a very, very unique individual point of view. And I hope that people who watch the movie have a similar experience and are able to walk out of it asking themselves a lot of questions, feeling like they were exposed to lots of very important points of view that they probably wouldn't have been exposed had they not seen the movie, and just trying to understand LA the way a lot of these poets do. And it's, I think, very different from the way it's depicted in most movies about LA. So hopefully, I think if people walk out of watching the movie and have a similar experience from the one I did in that poetry workshop, I would feel like we did our job properly, because that was the most important thing to me. That was what really moved me to jump onto this project, and I hope I get to share that with whoever ends up watching the movie. So just in thinking about summertime, and the most important thing for me was always to support the voices of these young poets and the work that they're doing. And that's why we've really been trying to include them as much as possible in every conversation we have about the movie. They all came to Sundance to the premiere and to do all the publicity work. And I would just love to encourage people to look them up, to learn about their work, to learn about them as individuals and as artists, and hopefully that will unlock this window into another world, because they are so talented and they all care about causes that I think are kind of noble and very, very worthy of our time right now. So I would hope that the movie and these conversations that we're having inspire people to learn more about these artists. My name is Carlos López Estrada. I am a director. My movie Summertime is a part of the 2020 GuadaLAjara Film Festival in LA. And if you enjoy this conversation, please go to their website. You can watch our movie Summertime. On the 19th of December, there's going to be the gala screening, and I think it's accompanied by a Q&A that includes myself and a few of the actors/writers of the movie. And hopefully that also leads you to other film projects and other conversations that are part of the festival that would probably be worth a look. So I hope you are able to join this community of people and engage in all the festival activities.